I know you can still hear me though. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Focus TV. We got a lot planned for you guys, and I have two very special guests. But we got Octavia Wyatt here, Cardell Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpey Jr. Again, welcome to The Focus TV. But our guest for the evening, go ahead and, if you guys have been watching the Last Dance Symposium, you're already familiar with one of these faces. But we want to welcome both head coach Howard Russell and assistant coach Arnell Milton of the Vision Academy in New York to the show. So, thank you guys for taking some time to call in tonight. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having us.
Man, we appreciate it. We were talking a little bit before the show. Obviously, it's kind of weird because like you want to ask everybody what they're doing and catching up, but technically we're all been in the house, so.
Doing nothing.
So
don't mind my beard. I haven't got a haircut since like March 1st.
Hey, look, man, you see this, right? Like I'm just here. You see this, right?
We're all in the struggle right now.
Man, we here.
If you can see what was under these braids.
Man, like I'm looking at a hat and it's just not worth it. Like I'm looking right at a hat.
Flawless right now.
Hey, Arnell, just know that it's one of the few times there was a couple of my guys and just like, y'all not like life ain't that bad right now. Like y'all some of the few right now were like, maybe a trim here and there, y'all good. But all right. Again, want to thank you guys for joining us. But my first question for you both, if you can, just share how competitive it's been for you guys in that region of the country from a basketball standpoint, especially when discussing other post-grad institutions.
Well, in general, I would say the Northeast is the big breeding ground just for what kind of work we do for a living. You have so many schools in Nepsac, Woodstock, Springfield Commonwealth. You have tons of schools, so kids have tons of options. One of the reasons why I actually decided to start our program was because those options are very high cost. A Woodstock Academy is about $50,000 a year. Go to a school like Cushing is $66,000 a year. So a lot of guys who go there either have some type of financial aid, a sponsor, or their own academic scholarship as well. But then there's a lot of kids who can't go. There's a lot of kids who don't get all opportunities because of the price. So coming in as a school which is lower cost but offers the same level of skill training, the same level of schedule, same opportunities really appeal to me. Because we don't just have basketball, we have football, soccer, baseball, softball, and girls volleyball. So instead of just offering it to a small portion of basketball played in the city throughout the tri-state area, kind of want to offer to all athletes because I feel like they all can be successful in the type of school we are.
Go ahead, Cardell.
This is for both of you guys. Vision Academy post-grad. What separates this post-grad program, from other post-grad programs?
What I would say would separate us the most is most schools you go to have 2 or 3 teams. It's kind of A, B, C, and D. We do the complete opposite. With us, we have 4 prep teams, and they all play national schedule. They all travel the country. They all get the same college exposure. They all get the same college outreach. They all get the same academic support. So with our guys, whether you're on my team, Arnell's team, Coach Velasquez's team, or Coach Brown's team, you're traveling the country playing some of the top players in the country. And we don't even play the same team. So, for example, I'll head out and I'll go play Brewster in New Hampshire, or I head to Virginia and I'll play at Oak Hill. And I'll send Mega out and he'll go to play Westtown or Phelps, or he'll go to the West Coast and he'll play prolific prep, and so on and so forth. So all of our teams, for the most part, get the same level, same quality of experience, which is different from a lot of schools.
You, Arnell?
Piggybacking on that, pretty much we have 4 teams, and just being in New York and being in the Tri-State area, there's so many kids who are talented, but just we're in the wrong opportunity, play out that position, wrong system, mature too late, and we're giving them opportunity. Like, we have a lane in which we can help those kids be successful and be able to be a scholarship player. I don't like to say D1 or D2, but scholarship player, be able to go to school for free. So I think we offer that. Like, you're getting the same scheduling that you get if you went to one of these more expensive boarding schools, but you get to stay home in the city. So I think that's been appealing to a lot of kids. They don't have to travel. They don't have to worry about all that. We play the same type of schedule. We offer 2-a-days, 3-a-day training that a lot of schools don't offer. So kids will get in the gym and they'll have every advantage of being seen and being developed. And I think that's something we can promise that a lot of schools can't.
Big time. Raymond and Octavia,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, just from like a recruiting standpoint, like how do you pretty much pinpoint the kids you wanna go after, or is it like a mutual thing where you have some kids seek you out as well? Like, just explain to me what that whole process is like.
I would say it's both. A lot of our guys are AAU guys who either play for AAU for me or now, and then even our other coaches, a lot of their guys are AAU guys, so they're already used to us, used to the program. We know their family. They need the access and resources we can provide, so it's just a perfect fit. And then we have outreach ourselves to other players that we're interested in that we might not know personally, and we get a lot of outreach from kids. It's a situation where, especially right now, due to what happened with coronavirus, it's a lot of kids going to schools they're not supposed to. It's a lot of kids who are supposed to have workouts and visits that will never happen, and they kind of just have to settle. So they either have an option of picking a school that they never actually probably visited, and spending 4 years there, or doing an extra year to get somewhere they really want to be.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Plus, we've had other programs, and just from networking, people have contacted us, wanting to know more about the program. So that's been able to get us some kids as well. Reaching out, definitely doing our due diligence, looking at kids' tape, calling coaches. So it's a little bit of both. So much, like I said, so much talent. So like finding guys hasn't been hard. It's just been the selling point. Because like I said, with the new kids on the block, so sometimes parents and kids might be hesitant. Some people think it's too good to be true when we give them our price, what we're doing, and the scheduling. It's like it's no way, it's a scam. So that's something we've had to work against. Like I said, but we've gotten some good talent in so far. I think when more kids have announced, or we get the paperwork done, and we announce that they're going to come to the programs, bring in more kids, word of mouth and all that type of stuff. So, but I think we've done a pretty good job recruiting for all 4 teams. None of them are complete yet, but we're getting close to it. And I know I can speak personally for the team I'm rounding up with. I know a team that Howard's rounding up with. They're looking pretty good as of right now.
Cool.
Yeah, and then one of the biggest benefits is piggyback off of what he said. My team is bringing back a couple guys. So because we're bringing back a couple guys, we bring back some guys who have Division I interest. We have a kid named Tyshawn Scott. Right now, he has 27 schools that reach out to me about twice a week. The kid's a stud. Nobody really knows about him because he kind of falls into that same boat. Went to a bad school, came to us last year as a senior, was able to get his grades back on track, and this coming year, he's expected to have a really breakout year, really big year.
Well, I know we started talking a little bit about like coronavirus. How difficult has everything been since the world's been shut down? Has it hindered anything you guys had in the pipeline coming down? Like, how difficult has it been?
I would say it's changed recruiting for us a lot. The plan was to use AAU as a big major recruiting tool. You get to see hundreds of kids on a daily basis. Me running my own AAU program, and then Arnell running his own program. We could be in different states at the same time speaking to different kids. We also plan to have a showcase that's supposed to happen in April during the live period to have kids come in so we can see them work out in person. And then that has happened. This has kind of become a year, even for colleges, where film is important. The only way we can recruit you right now is if you have film. So, of course, there's going to be tons of kids who don't have any film but can play, and they're going to fall through the cracks. And we're going to try our best, hopefully, maybe in July, or all these restrictions are lifted where we are, to get them in the gym so we can have an open workout. But for the most part, our recruiting's just been electronic. To be completely honest, we're supposed to have a girls program this year as well. We actually canceled our football program and our girls program for the year. Football because they won't be able to play by time school starts. So it just wasn't really worth it. They travel to a different state every week. So their first game was in August. It's impossible for them to play a game if they can't get on the field. And then girl-wise, to be completely honest, you got to meet their parents in person. Over the phone and all that type of stuff. True. It's fine with boys. With boys, a little bit more simple. You can do Zoom. You can do a lot of different things. The parents are going to meet you in person. With girls, typically come to the gym, get a workout, see how the experience is going to be. So, yeah, unfortunately, we cancel our girls program this year, but we're expecting for 2021, 2022 to have a top 10 girls program in the country. It's a couple of secrets going with that is going to come out really soon. We're going to have a really strong girls program.
Can't tell now.
I won't tell, I promise.
Recruiting-wise, the only issue I've had with the coronavirus is like not being able to see the guys. Like I'm the type that I want to throw them in the fire, have them play against another guy we're recruiting, and really see what they're about. Also be able to go see them play. So in person, because film is good, but it was only so good. And most kids, and unfortunately, like this is another thing that's hurt a lot of kids in the city. They don't have film. They have clips. Yeah. They have a highlight. They have a mixtape.
Highlights, yeah.
They don't have quality film. So it's like, because I know the kid can play, because someone that referred him I can trust will roll the dice with a kid. But some of these kids, like, they'll send me like 2-3 second clips. It's like, I need to see a little bit more than that. But that's it. Like, I like throwing kids in the fire, throwing them in the grind, putting them through a workout to really see what they're about. But besides that, that's been, for me personally, I feel like it's been the main difficulty recruiting. And also, some kids, even with the boys, they're more old school. They want to meet the coach. They want to get to know you. But because I think we know a lot of people in the tri-state area and people speak highly of us, I think that's been helping us get over that hurdle.
Coach Russell, you have a lot of coaching experience, obviously, at various levels. What motivated you to become the head coach at Vision Academy?
Wow. To be completely honest, I've been a lot of places. I played a lot of sports growing up. So you might see I have a lacrosse hoodie on. I have a basketball hoodie. I played college lacrosse instead of basketball. It was a simple choice. I had 57 lacrosse offers. I had 3 D3 basketball offers. My mom made the choice.
Choice, mom.
so that one's a no-brainer. With that being said, though, even me basketball-wise, my mom was always set on basketball. Did my year as a grad assistant in the basketball world, and then got into coaching at a very young age. Started coaching at the age of 20. I was a high school head coach by the age of 22. And now I'm running my own academy by the age of 26. So was it all a plan? I would be lying to you if I said it was. But I decided to honestly start it because I've been in different situations. I've been at private schools. I've been at prep schools. I've been at public schools. And I've noticed that public school-wide, they get the less resources. Those kids are the ones who tend to not get the help that they need just because the people don't know how to help them. It's not just because they don't care, like we hear a lot of times. They don't know what to do. They've never really been in a situation where they got to get into college. Most kids go to college from public school are a stud. Doesn't matter where you go. You can go anywhere and people are going to see you. But the other kids who are mid-major, maybe D2 players, they're the ones who fall through the cracks. So me starting my own program was more so designed to get kids into school. Like I want to be able to say in any given year, we have 300 students that are all post-grads, or 300 students, half post-grad, half seniors, that we're sending 300 students to school from D3 all the way to D1. We have a kid right now named I, and he's actually in DR. Real Madrid offered him for the 17U national team. He might go play pro ball next year. And that happened to him going to a showcase this year. Before that happened, he didn't have that opportunity. So that's really my goal, you know, put them on a good track to have a good life, get into a good school, get a good degree, and start their life in a positive way.
Arnell, same question for you. What was the deciding factor for you to come on board with Vision Academy?
When Howard was doing it last year, I was already for it. Just moving down to Maryland, having a newborn, just wasn't schedule-wise. Just wasn't gonna work out. But I know it's something he's being a little humble right now. It's something that he's been talking about doing for a while. And like I said, because some of these kids are just not being properly taken care of, their coach is not doing their due diligence. They're just falling through the cracks. Like I was talking to a kid the other day, and he thought that if he graduated, he couldn't do a post-grad. Like, so these kids are really being, I know. These kids are really being ill-informed about how things work. Kids are not, you know, cleared for the clearinghouse. They don't qualify. You know, they think, oh, if I go to prep school, I'm be good. So half of it is just educating kids on their options and what they actually can do. So I was all with it because, like, now having an AAU team and now coaching a post-grad team, like I said, I really help those kids that go through the cracks, those late bloomers. Like I said, in New York, we've had how many kids that had to leave the city to get D1 offers? Yeah. We've had kids that were getting nothing to go to the NetSpec conference, and now they're getting high major looks. And like I say all the time, the kid didn't get that much better in 1 year. You know, he had access to the gym. A lot of these kids at gym rats, they want to be in the gym, they want to be in the weight room, but they don't have those resources in the city depending on what school they go to. And then they're not playing against respectable competition that they can be properly evaluated for by a Division I or Division II coach. That hurts a lot of these kids too. So you have a kid that's playing power forward that's 6'5" in the B division. How you evaluate him? He's playing against a bunch of 6'2" guys that, quite frankly, shouldn't even be on the court. So, I just seen this opportunity as a way we can help kids. And like I said, the end result is not the NBA, not pro. Is going to school for free or reduced tuition, graduating, getting a great degree from a great school, and then being an upstanding citizen in your community. That's the whole goal and mission here.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Arnell said, speaking about education, you know, I'm a certified teacher. Also started teaching at the age of 20. Started teaching in the public school system. It's kind of how I got used to, you know, really seeing the deficiencies and how kids are like being brought up academically. I graduated college with 3 degrees. I triple majored. I'm 7 credits away from my master's. I plan on getting my doctorates just because, just to say I did it. And I would say all that comes from sports, literally. You know, if I didn't have the opportunity to go to school for free, have a school pay for every diploma I wanted to take, I would have never gotten to where I'm at right now. So when I always speak to kids, it's the same exact thing. It's really not about going pro. It's about putting yourself on a good pathway for life.
Respect. Anybody else got questions?
Yeah. Just to either one of y'all or both, if you both want to take a crack at it. But like, I find it always interesting for people in you guys' position. Like, have you ever come across a kid that like needed the post-grad year but didn't think they needed it? Like, do you try to convince that kid, or do you just like, what's your approach to a student like that? But you know, you really know that, you know, having this extra year would benefit them greatly. Like, how do you go at that kid?
Well, me, I'm a big believer in situations. So, like, for example, we have a couple kids in our program. Like, you know, we just probably gonna sign a kid probably tomorrow who has Division II offers. He has full rides, like he doesn't want to take them. And even though we're recruiting him to be a part of our program, every conversation we have is you should go to college. You know, if you have these D2 rides, I don't see the purpose of doing a post-grad year. I do respect chasing your dream, because if this was 9 years ago, I would probably try to chase my dream as well. Things still worked out. I'm not saying that things don't work out if you go to college, but if you're a kid who already has the college offers and has a good look, I do feel you should go to college. With that being said, there's a lot of kids who have the opposite. They have the deep free schools that, to be completely honest, they're too good to go to. And there's deep free schools getting the steal. Some of them going JUCO because they don't even have deep free schools. So now they have to go JUCO. So those are the kids that we try to convince, like, hey, you know, you can either pay $7,000 for a school year with us, or you can go pay over the course of 2 years $12,000 and end up having to pay when you go to college for a 4-year school anyway. So it's kind of just a situational thing, to be honest. Some kids are in a perfect situation where they shouldn't have to go post-grad. They should just directly go straight to college. And then there's a lot of them that think they're in a good situation, but they're not. And those are the kids that you kind of want to stay in the right way, whether it's post-grad, college. You want to just put them in the best path for them.
Pretty much this depends on the kid's situation. We've already turned away a few kids as it is, because if we're not in a situation where we can help you and improve your situation, we don't want to feel like we're stealing your money. Like, we don't want to be that one of those type of programs. There are a lot of them out there that do that. So it's pretty much just educating the kids as best we can, and just giving us, hey, you can come here, you can do A, B, and C, or this is your other option. So I'm not really one for upselling. Like, I'm gonna tell you what it is, what we offer, what we can do for you, and either you take it or you leave it. And if there's a kid, I feel like, maybe going to school, going to that Division I JUCO, or going to that Division II school is your best option. It doesn't make sense for you to come here for a year if you're not going to upgrade your situation. So it depends on the kid, but we're not in this business like trying to steal kids' money. We want to help kids and help them use us as a platform to elevate their basketball situations.
For sure. Fella, it's a question for both of y'all again. Tell us about the curriculum academically. I know it's in conjunction with the Auburn school and whatnot, and I know parents that's watching going to have questions on that side as well. So can y'all explain what that's all about?
Well, academically, the Auburn school is not predominantly known by people who are in the public school or even the Catholic world. It's predominantly used by private schools and private schools and prep schools. It's a pretty good service. It has Florida education, which is number 3 in the country standard-wise. Every course is NCAA certified. So a kid who comes to us, for example, if you have a 3.0 with the Auburn school, it's equivalent to a 3.7 in the New York school. So even academically, what we have to offer is higher than what public school can offer you in your area. Only people who are beating us academically in the city are the automatic qualifiers, like the Berkeley Carrolls, Columbia Preps, the Lamont Manhattans. Those great academic schools, they're next to none. And then it's us. We're able to offer a great facility. We're able to offer great resources academically. For example, even though we're doing class online, it's a virtual system where you're actually speaking to a teacher. Teacher's actually guiding you through the work, and then you do have downtime as if you were a college student to do your own work. And then we also offer tutoring. If a kid needs tutoring because he's not doing well in a certain course, on top of him having additional help through Auburn school and through us, we also get them a tutor as well. So academically, our guys do pretty well. This year, our highest student, his name is Kamani Motique. He has a 3.7 through the Auburn school. And right now, because of that, he's qualified for 5 Division II schools on academic offers already, on half offers, just based off of his grades and his transcript. So academically, I would say for the most part, we do pretty well. It's a great partnership, and it allows us to kind of be able to be mobile. We can still hit all the academic points that we need to hit, and then we can still offer everything we need to offer athletic.
That's great.
Yeah, I pretty much got most of it. We also offer SAT prep. Kids that, in a situation where maybe need to get their GED and then come to us, we offer that as well. So we offer a lot of different academic opportunities for kids to help improve their stock in that standpoint, because you're a scholar athlete at the end of the day. So if you don't qualify, it doesn't matter what you do on that court anyway. So that's very important for us.
Qualify, don't qualify.
National schedule, man. That's the big deal with the post grad. Y'all not playing. I got to look at y'all schedule. Y'all playing in some of the biggest showcases around the country and abroad. What message are you trying to send not only to your players but other programs around the country? Just for both of you.
I would say that we have talent in New York. A lot of people say that New York is not as good as it used to be. And I'll be completely honest, when I was a kid in New York, we did have a lot of the top players and the top schools were ranked in New York City. And now in 2020, you don't see a lot of that. But talent-wise, I still say we have some of the best talent in the country. We have a kid who just went to UConn named James Brooknight. Stud. Kids should have athletes. And the kid should have had to leave the city, you know. But we have kids like him all the time who leave the city, and then out of nowhere they're like, where did this kid come from? When in reality he was doing that in the city as well. He just wasn't being seen. So us open up an avenue where these kids can now stay close to home. Their parents can come see their games. Because that's another thing. A lot of these kids go away and their parents don't see them for 7 months. Don't see them for 8+ months. They might never see their kids play unless they're in the tri-state area. You know, a lot of schools do stream online, but a lot don't. So, you know, you can have a kid that you went to every single one of his games from CYO to AAU to his sophomore year in high school, and you sent him away. And his junior and senior, you don't get to see your son play. Only thing you see is social media. You know, so we want to be able to say, like, hey, we can keep kids close. You can be close to your family, close to your support system, and still get everything that you would if you went away.
You on there?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said earlier, you can stay home and play that national schedule. How many schools in the city can offer that? Not many. I mean, maybe a few Catholic schools and maybe a few prep schools, but they're not doing the same thing we're doing to amount of games, and because we don't have to worry about certain type of regulations like some other schools have to. We can play more games. We can play teams in which other schools might be penalized for, which sucks. Because, you know, you don't want to dodge that smoke. And I think that's one of the problems. I was watching actually a podcast, and Tiny Morton was talking about, like, the reason why Sebastian, a lot of his players did so well is because he was playing every top-ranked point guard when he was in high school. You know, so now it's like the kid that went to Lehigh, Andre, he wasn't ranked that high because Lehigh really played at a top point guard. So, like, one thing we're not doing is we're not dodging that smoke. We want all of it. We want to put kids in front of that form. So now, when it's time to talk about schools, if you didn't perform, if you didn't get one, it's because you didn't perform. You can't say you didn't play against the best. We play one of these top teams, you can't get off. That's on you. And now you know where you stand. I think a lot of kids don't realize there's levels to this. So now it's like, you're going to get your reality check. You can see who can do what.
So I'll piggyback on what he said to that. This past year, our team played Booster. Tough game. They have a very good program over there. One of the things about the game that I loved is we ended up losing the game by, I believe, like 25 points or something like that. We're one of their closest losses of the year. They have won by 50, 60, 40, you know. And just based off of that, we've been able to get a lot of interest in a lot of our kids because they're playing top-level players. Out of the 12 kids they have on the team, 8 of them have Division I offers and have signed in Division I schools. The other 4 kids are going high Division II. So even if you don't go D1 from playing those schools, D2 schools that didn't have any interest in you, like, hey, you had 13 points against Terrence Clark, or if this D1 school doesn't want you, I definitely want you. You know? And that's kind of the most important part. The winning and losing is really not a big deal for me, to be honest. It's the film. If I can get you film, a great film against a Division I player, a top 50 recruit, it changes your whole recruiting pattern.
All right. That said, just want to jump in real quick. I think we've covered a lot, but you guys talked about that schedule. Very impressive schedule. I love what you said, Arnell, just a minute ago, where you pretty much put it out there where you put them in a position to sink or swim, and after that, you can't really complain about it. That said, what's the biggest win to date?
Biggest win to date, I would say Wesley Christian from Kentucky. Pretty good program, well-known program. Preseason last year, they were ranked number 1 in the state of Kentucky. We were actually their first loss of the season last year in December. They came in as a 47-point favorite in that game, and we beat them by 15. Beat them by 15, missing 2 wings who were injured, and only having 1 kid who was about 6'5". They have a kid going to Maryland, actually, 6'11", stud. And we just outplayed them, top to bottom. We had the better guard play. I don't want to say we had better coaching, but I outcoached them that night. And it was a great win. It was probably one of the wins that projected our schedule for this year. You know, a lot of schools heard about us beating them. Because I'm not going to lie, you know, year 1, you're going to walk into a lot of gyms and people are like, it's going to be a slaughter. You know, they're going to lose by 70, 80 points. And we didn't have any of that last year. You know, even against Springfield Commonwealth, we ended up losing that game by 12 points. It was a highly competitive game. You know, so it's really, for me, like I said, the winning is great. I would love to be the top-ranked team, and that's my goal. Whenever we walk into the gym is to be the top-ranked team. But it's about being competitive and making sure we perform on a high level At the end of the day, we all want to go to college. As much as the fact that we want to win games and project the program into, let's just say, a higher status, if we're sending 100 kids to school a year, we're doing better than most programs.
Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
This is my last one. Everyone knows, the Northeast between New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, DMV, it's rich in basketball talent. What will it take to get Vision Academy to a point where high major coaches make it a point to not only visit y'all, but visit y'all early and often, every year in, year out?
I would say it would take for us to, like I said, be competitive. If we're out here, like, for example, I think our first game of the season on paper this year will probably be, I'm working it out right now, but it'll probably be Aspire Basketball Academy from Kentucky. We're all working on our dates right now, but that'll probably be our first game of the year. They're number 2 in the state of Kentucky right now, prep school-wise. That's another game where people are not going to expect us to come in there and win. They have a couple kids who went high major this past year, and they didn't even have a great year, but they're sending kids to high major schools. So beating those schools, like I said, will obviously jumpstart the program to take it to a higher level. But just being competitive against them, saying that we can play on the same level. At the end of the day, we all want to be in the top 10 in the country. That's how you get rated. That national prep tournament is where everybody wants to be at the end of the year. You have to play the top teams to get there. That's what I love about prep school basketball. You can play 40 games and be 34-6. So if you play nobody, the Prep School Association doesn't care. You're not going to be in that top 10 list, right? But if you went out there, you played every top team, you went 16-4, and the 4 games you lost were close losses, they'll mention you in the top 20 in the country, and that's where we want to be. So our goal, I'll say Arnell kind of needs to be the same exact way. Within the next 3 years, I want to be the national prep player.
All right. Yeah, let me piggyback on that. Not only the winning is going to help us, but like I said, us developing players. If we get players and bring them in and make them better than they were coming in, that helps. And then when they do well in college, that's going to bring people along. That long-term success. We're not trying to be, a one-hit wonder by any stretch of the imagination. We want to be consistent. We want to be long-term. So we want to get kids to school. We want those kids to perform when they're in school. Just by, I think, that happening, we'll become that national program. Our goal is, like Howard said, the next probably 3 to 4 years, we want to be in that conversation. And we're also not just looking for players in New York, by the way. I'll touch on that.
I was going to ask that.
There's a few kids in Maryland I got my eye on.
Man.
Hey, look, I respect that. He wanted to make sure he got off here without that being missed. I'm not mad at that at all.
To piggyback on what Arnell just said, if you have any kids in Maryland who are interested, we do offer housing. So then you're more than welcome.
Yeah, he know what it is, Jim College fam, so he already know. We already talked about it, so definitely a help.
Well, look, guys, I just want to thank you both for coming on. So once again, thank you very much to Coach Howard Russell and Coach Arnell Milton from the Vision Academy.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much again.
You too.
What we're going to do now, guys, we're going to head to a quick break. When we get back, if you haven't already, follow us on social. We've been doing this Last Dance Symposium thing the past however many weeks the doc was on. So if you got time after the show, don't cut us off now. After the show, go ahead and go check that out. Past episodes are up. Get over to finestmag.com for that. And obviously the Focus Periscope immediately. Those are up right now. Arnell was one of our reoccurring panelists for quite a few of those. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, going to talk to Octavia and Raymond about this Cardell as well. Just our kind of like final takes on the doc as a whole. Then we got some rapid fire. Lord knows what Cardell got for us this week. It's always a joy, right? You're watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus TV. Again, we want to thank our guests for the night. Definitely enjoyed that conversation. So you get a chance to look up Division Academy. And I'm sure we'll check back in with them again once, outside opens up and they're back up and going and doing what it is that they're striving to do with their program. That said, like I said about the Last Dance Symposium before we went to break, the series is officially over. So Octavia, I asked you just what your just looking back on it, your final thoughts on it, if you will. And then, we'll get into 9450 after that. But Octavia, then Raymond, Cardell, and then, I'll offer my little 2 cents.
So first of all, I'm so sad that it's over. I wish there were more episodes, more things, like little gems and stuff to learn from it. I all in all thought it was a great documentary. I know some people, I don't even know who the people were. People were saying that they couldn't believe his kids wasn't in it and this person wasn't in it. None of us care about that. This was about him playing basketball and his life for him. So I think it's cool that, they don't need, that's a different aspect that we don't need to know. Maybe his family didn't want to pay him. 2, to me, it just only reconfirms what I already knew and stated, that he is the GOAT. To me, it just proves so much. I loved learning about, and this is the thing I say, like, I love documentaries because a lot of this stuff happened real time when I feel like I was too young to really grasp what it really was. And we all know the flu game, of course, but just to see how bad it was, and that it wasn't even technically the flu that, that they say he actually had food poisoning. I can't imagine. I've had food poisoning before. There's no way I can imagine playing basketball. Wow. Being sick with food poisoning. So, because you literally want to throw up every 5 seconds. So, to me, it just reconfirmed so much for me. I loved the whole documentary. I loved the way that it went down. I learned so much that I didn't know. I'll be completely honest. I felt like I knew a good amount, but there was still stuff that was happening. I was like, oh, I didn't know that happened. Oh my God, I didn't know this happened. So it was just real cool for it to come out now. Especially it's crazy with the pandemic happening. Everybody's in the house. Everybody's itching for sports. So it came on at a perfect time for everybody to sit down, be able to watch it. And all the younger generation, much younger than me. Like at the same time, I felt like I was young as he was starting out. Like I said, 84, I wasn't even born yet, So, but the kids that are younger than us, all they know is what they see nowadays. So I think it was even more impactful that it came out, and now these kids can maybe possibly understand what we're saying, even though I don't know if they're going to really believe us, even though, it's there. But I just thought it was a great documentary. I low-key just kind of hope that they have another one somewhere just to play, but who knows?
Wait, Raymond?
Yeah, it was just wonderfully done. It's probably the best basketball documentary I've ever seen. It would be hard for it not to be, considering, the topic. But, a lot of it was a review for me, but I did learn some things. And then it's interesting to see, like, the true behind the scenes of some stuff that I did know, like just to see what all led to what we saw on the surface. So, yeah, it was awesome. It was fun to watch. I'm definitely going to binge it again at some point. Having to wait a week, for each episode was kind of irking to me. Like with shows I hate doing that. But yeah, very soon I'm just going to watch all 10 back to back. But yeah, like Octavia said, it's good to just have it all laid out in the forefront for everyone to see. I've loved the chaos it's caused on social media just to see the flimsy arguments getting torn apart. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's just reaffirmation that Mike is the GOAT, and it's pretty much indisputable at this point. I mean, it has been for a long time, but the defense rests. I mean, the evidence is there. If you want to continue to argue, that's fine. Case closed. Courtroom is empty. Have fun talking to yourself. But yeah, it was great. It was great. You know, and I like, and this is probably gonna inspire a lot more in-depth documentaries like this about other, you know, notable sports figures that need to have their story told. So yeah, great job everybody involved, and yeah, hope we get to see a lot more.
Cardell?
Like they said, it just, I wouldn't even say reconfirm. I mean, it been stamped for me. You know, Mike is the greatest of all time. Ain't nothing that you talked about. The main thing, a lot of stuff I knew, probably about like 95%. You know, obviously growing up playing, you study Mike, you try to take traits of him to add it to your game to help you get better. But the thing that, you know, obviously the behind the scenes things, but, you know, kind of telling the story of some of his teammates, you know, that, you know, and how that kind of contributed to that last run and why things were the way they were. Those were the things I was more impressed with. Like a lot of people, it's funny, before the doc, a lot of people just looked at Steve Kerr as like, you just hit one shot with Jordan and then you got lucky with the Golden State Warriors when Mark Jackson got fired. That's how they viewed him. And it's funny to see how the attitude changed in 2 days when they learned the story. You know, especially because he's so outspoken on social media about, you know, the dumb politics by the current administration going on right now, and he always speaks out about it. And they're like, "You're not qualified. You should just coach." Yeah, he's pretty much qualified. He lost his father in a horrible way to those situations in a political battle. So they gave him more respect, and also, you know, just him detailing his career, how he was struggling at first. He was pretty much had one foot out the door in the lead. He's about to get rid of him, and by him humbling himself and acknowledging a player who was thriving in a role that he could play saved his career. And then, ironically, he became part 2 of that person in the second run with Jordan as far as John Paxson is concerned. And it just catapulted his career to where he went from just probably being another guy that just played in the league that most people would have forgot about unless you are a diehard basketball individual, to somebody who, well, he could be valuable to our front office because all the winning he was involved in with the Bulls and with the Spurs, and then became the coach and brought a winning tradition to Golden State. You know what I'm saying? So situations and stories like that is what, you know, impressed me the most, and how they just pieced it together, you know, 10-part documentary. Like, honestly, they could have extended that thing out to 20 parts, and we looked at every last one of them like it was the first one. It was just like, I know they cut out a lot of stuff. They had to. It's hard to put everything in to basically 10 hours or throughout a whole year and tell a story. But I like they did the best the job they could. I agree with Raymond, it's the best basketball documentary I've ever seen. But, you know, it was just special, man. And I just hope that people just get rid of their little petty ways. You know, I know that's asking a lot in the social media era. And just take the lessons that is applied from the Bulls and Jordan himself. Like you said, when it comes with a cost. And I'm not trying to hear you kind of be on that level, put yourself on that level, or other people hype you up to be on that level when you haven't made the same sacrifices and endured the same type of road to get to certain points in your career or with your team. It's just, we not having that. My thing is, it's a standard, and you either measure up or you need to get out the way. As simple as that, man. You can't talk your way up the ladder. You can't hype your way up the ladder. You either get it done or you don't. At the end of the day, sports is a results-based business. And if you don't get the same results, I'm not trying to hear about you being better or your team being better, period.
Yeah, I think the word you just used, standard, not to add too much on to what you guys said, the standard was revisited. You know, for a lot of people, you heard it several times along the way, you know, since that time, since, you know, that came to a close then. You know, it was a standard, it's a standard. And, you know, people kind of started, you know, the line kind of got murky for some folks, in which, you know, the standard slipped a little bit. Things were allowed to be not held as high. And this was just one of those nice, kindly, humble reminders that the standard is the standard, and the standard is the standard for quite a very good reason. And this is not to knock anyone, but this is why it's so hard to meet said standard. Those are why, like, that's literally one of the defining things of a standard. It's not for everyone to meet. You strive to meet it, but you don't always meet it. And the thing about a standard, even if you fall a little bit short, that usually puts you in very good company, which people have the issue. That puts you in great company. But again, hitting that standard or exceeding it is why it's so hard. It's not for everybody. So it was great to just revisit the standard. And one of the things I've enjoyed the most out of it was just a lot of the writers during that time kind of just opening up now, like opening the floodgates and really sharing so much of their personal, interactions and stories from covering the league at that time that, in the current setup, there wasn't really any space to share those stories because we know what the media looks like now. It's a little bit different, right? Just being completely honest. So,
watch the PR firm.
Yeah. So just to keep it a buck. So it's like a lot of those folks that were, that were meeting the standard back then of a journalist. So many of those stories, there wasn't a space for. Now, everybody loves clicks and views. The standard was hot again. So all those old folks stories, which is I've thoroughly been enjoying them, sharing them with Cardell, other folks, just been sharing, reading a lot of it because there's a bunch of stuff where if this doesn't come out, those people wouldn't even been asked to talk about these things. You know what I'm saying? So again, it was just a nice reminder of what the standard is. What we're gonna do is take our second break. Again, shout out to
one more thing. It ain't gonna be quick. One more thing. Young ass and people, be historians of the game. And it's more than just going on YouTube and watching highlights. Go back and watch the games. Read some articles, read some books. They're out there. It's a lot of y'all. It amazes me, like, it's so much more information now than when I was growing up. Like, we literally had to search for it, go to hope the VHS was in stores and stuff. We literally had to get that so we can learn and study, or if they showed it on TNT, that was it. NBA TV didn't even come out till I was down there in college.
Oh, we used to tape playoff games.
Exactly. So we were limited, but we still knew about the history of the game. Like, it's a standard, dog. You got to win and dominate year in, year out. And that's the standard you saw. And that wasn't established by Jordan. Remember, he won a minute without winning himself. I mean, don't put him up there with me at Magic, Bird, and Isaiah. He got to win first. I don't care how much he dominated. That standard was set when the NBA first started, George Mike and Bill Russell. The same, and it's funny also seeing these kids also say when they see a lot of the players that Jordan went through, all of a sudden that plumber thing went away real quick. Like, dang, Charles Barkley was good. Reggie Miller, that was good. Like, no shit. So that comes from a lack of, and these are the same people, all these viewers on national media outlets talking basketball. Like, that shows you weren't even qualified to talk about it in the first place. You're just a fan. You're a PR firm. So go back and study the game, know the game, and learn the history of the game before you open your mouth. And then you will understand why we stand by what we say. He's the greatest of all time, and the Bulls are arguably the greatest team of all time. The results matter, man. You got to know what you're talking about. Go ahead, Wilson.
I mean, that's the great way to end that part of the show. Again, hope you guys enjoyed it. And when you get a chance, follow us. If you're not already, follow us, the Focus TV on social media, specifically on Twitter, or even on Instagram. Cardell's done a great job putting some audiograms up, things of that nature. And the full shows are still up there on Periscope from the last symposium. They go a little long, but those 2-part episodes every week were about 2 hours. It took us about 2 hours to discuss it, so it is what it is. But again, shout out to Jamaal Hayward and the job he's done. 9-4-50 breakdown, regardless of the world being shut down outside, he's still knocking these things out. This week's 9-4-50 is breaking down mid-post scoring options with no dribbles. Again, breaking down mid-post scoring options with no dribbles. Jamaal Hayward at 9-4-50. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break for maybe a couple rapid-fire questions. But this is Focus TV. Be right back.
What's up, guys? Hope you're staying safe. Today we're going to work on multiple scoring options out of the mid-post without using any dribbles. Dribbling is effective, but too much is not effective. A lot of the elite players in the NBA utilize different moves and techniques without even dribbling the ball. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do without even using any dribbles. So I'm going to start here on the right wing. Left foot is my pivot. I'm getting the pass from this wing here. So I get the pass here. As I open up, pay attention to how the defender's guarding you. You want to keep the ball away from their active hands, either here on the left hip or away. So as I open up, we're just going to do a simple jab step, okay? So as I open up here, jab hard, shot. Second one. Now, depending on how the defender's guarding you, let's say if they're trying to overplay here, okay? I'm here, and they're more so favoring my right side, I can spin away, okay? And either go for a layup. But we're doing no dribbles right now. So, as I spin away, I plant this right foot. They're gonna recover back here. I can sweep back for another shot. So, we're here. Quick. Up. What's up, guys? Hope you're staying safe. Today we're going to work on multiple scoring options out of the mid post without using any dribbles. Dribbling is effective, but too much is not effective. A lot of the elite players in the NBA utilize different moves and techniques without even dribbling the ball. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do without even using any dribbles. So I'm going to start here on the right wing. Left foot is my pivot. I'm getting the pass from this wing here. So I get the pass here. As I open up, pay attention to how the defender's guarding you. You want to keep the ball away from their active hands, either here on the left hip or away. So as I open up, we're just going to do a simple jab step, okay? So as I open up here, jab hard, shot. Second one. Now, depending on how the defender's guarding you, let's say if they're trying to overplay here, okay? I'm here, and they're more so favoring my right side, I can spin away, okay? And either go for a layup. But we're doing no dribbles right now. So, as I spin away, I plant this right foot. They're gonna recover back here. I can sweep back for another shot. So, we're here. Quick. Up.
All right, welcome back once again. Thank you so much, Jamaal Hayward and 9450 Breakdown. All right, Cardell.
Dude, I got you, man.
Best question. It is what.
All right, where's Grant? He went hard today. Called Michael Jordan a snitch following the last dance. Yeah, that radio interview with Captain Cole on ESPN 1000 in Chicago, and Grant said it's a downright, outright, complete lie that he leaked much information out of Sam Smith's book, Jordan Rules, as Jordan alleged on the documentary. He says, a lie. If MJ had a grudge with me, let's settle this like men. Let's talk about it, or we can sell it another way. But yet and still, he goes out and puts this lie out that I was the source behind the book. Sam and I have always been great friends. We're still great friends, but the sanctity of that locker room, I would never put anything personal out there. The mere fact that Sam Smith was an investigative reporter, that he had to have two sources, too, to write a book, I guess. Why would MJ just point me out? It's only a grudge, man. I'm telling you, it was only a grudge, and I think he proved that during the so-called documentary. But if you say something about him, he's going to cut you off. He's going to try to destroy your character. Charles Barkley, they've been friends for over 20, 30 years. And he said something about Michael's management with the Charlotte Bobcats or the Charlotte Hornets, and then they haven't spoken since then. And my point is, he said that I was a snitch, but yet and still, after 35 years, he brings up his rookie year going into one of his teammates' room and seeing coke and weed and women. My point is, why the hell did he want to bring that up? Because they got to do with anything. I mean, if you want to call somebody a snitch, that's a damn snitch right there. Octavia, so he's going to start with you.
I mean, that's tough, but I mean, because I was reading it too earlier today, and I was like, oh, he's mad. But I mean, I just feel like at this point, it's never going to come to a consensus. Nobody's ever going to know what really happened, who said what, who did what. Again, most of the stuff I feel like when this comes up, it's just because the documentary's out. It's back in the forefront of everything. I just feel like they both have their own two different truths. And it is what it is. Michael probably is probably like, that's how I feel, and that's what it is. And I was just going to say the opposite. So I really feel like there's no middle ground. There's no way it's going to come to a resolution. It just is what it is. And I mean, honestly, I don't really know either way.
Oh, you right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nobody really knows the truth except, Sam Smith and the people he got the information from. But Forrest, sound a little guilty to me, buddy. I'm just saying, like, if it didn't touch a nerve, you wouldn't have had that visceral reaction. So, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a professional interrogator, but
Oh, guilty there.
Yeah.
And you still did the documentary.
Right. You look like you got caught. That's like when you get caught by your parents and you start snitching on your siblings.
Just start saying anything.
Come on, bro. And then talking about, why Mike's a snitch because he talked about, going into a teammate's room. First of all, he never said which teammate, never said who was involved. And it's common knowledge that they was doing drugs. So,
everybody knows that.
So what are you talking about? Like, so yeah, he was responding because his feelings were hurt because he got called out, and that's what people do when they get their car pulled. So, like I said, I don't know for a fact, but I kind of know now.
It was just funny, man. Like, everybody knows people that always make like horrible comparisons with stuff, like things that never have anything to do with the other thing. And it's usually because they're really grasping for straws. Obviously, we'll never know, but those two things have nothing to do with the other, sir. Secondly, you weren't even around for one of them, so you shouldn't speak on it. I don't even know how you would have done around that group in that locker room at that time. So again, I don't even say why you bringing up something that has nothing to do with you. Honestly, none of them dudes that were involved doing what they were doing, ain't nobody speak up, say nothing. No names were mentioned. If anybody would have anything to say, like half of it, he spent the time going at Scott Burrell and he not talking wild. What did you even?
Yeah, he was punching back.
Like,
and listen,
it's just funny, man.
Died from that team his rookie year. A couple dudes ain't make it because of the drug use. It's common knowledge, though. So, last question. Oh, you done, Wilson? You going?
No, I'm good. Last question.
Last question. Doug Peterson expects Nate Sudfeld to be the backup quarterback. The Eagles then draft Jalen Hurts to be the backup to Carson Wentz. After all, instead, Hurts likely will be the backup to. Hurts likely will be the backup. Yeah, the backup Nate Sudfeld. Peterson said, "I fully expect Nate to come in and be aggressive and do the things that he's capable of doing and become the backup to Carson." And then with Jalen's about right now just learning and picking up our system, and he's another young player that we drafted who there's a lot to learn from the quarterback position. So are we going to take it a little bit slower, maybe with him until he grasps the offense? You might have to. What I like about it is always not knowing, and unknown is how well a guy I think can progress. And then once you get him on the grass, put him through drills, put him through practices, then we will see exactly what these guys are all about. So, Miss Eagles, how do you like that?
I just want them to get rid of him. I'm over it. I'm sorry. I'm over it. But I understand what they're saying. They're saying right now that, it's a competition between Nate and Jalen as the backup. Now, I did read an article earlier where they basically said that they're looking like they're trying to prepare for the future as far as at the quarterback position, because apparently Nate Sudfeld has plans of being a starting quarterback somewhere.
Yeah,
so, yeah, that's Howie Roseman said this, that he has aspirations to be a starting quarterback.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm saying, like, if that's his aspirations, like, they're basically saying, like, we're not going to keep him from what he wants to do. So I fully hope that they don't keep him from doing what he wants to do. Go out there and figure it out. But I'm sorry. I've just never been a huge fan. He could come in. I'm not saying he's a terrible football player. I'm just saying, like, I don't really want him playing quarterback for my team.
You just said he's a terrible quarterback.
I'm not saying that. There are other quarterbacks that I don't say are terrible, but I wouldn't want them playing for my team. There's a lot of them. Jameis Winston, I don't feel like is a terrible quarterback. I don't want him in Philly, though.
You got Nate. That's why. Go ahead, Ryan. See,
absolutely not. Nate can. I mean, he re-signed a 1-year deal.
He's gonna re-up after this next season when he ball.
Yeah, with somebody else. Re-up somewhere else. Get out of Philadelphia. Like, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. Like, I hate to speculate and stuff like that. Oh well, he could still be there because he's been there. And they like I say, felt comfortable enough with him. But I do think that they realized that after last year's debacle, as far as everybody being injured, like they have to have a legit backup. And I personally don't think it's him. If they think it's him, we'll see. But it's nice to know we got a whole new medical and training staff. So hopefully they can keep.
Need to get him some help. He feel like he Jordan before Pippen and Horace Grant came. That's what it is. Help.
No. Absolutely not. I need to help himself. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, this is turning into a bit of a circus here, ain't it? I mean,
CEs, baby.
Yeah. Well, what else can we expect now?
This is what we do.
I mean, it's got to be frustrating though, because I mean, you got Carson, who's good, but is
injury
probably going to get injured at some point, and then
I don't want nobody say that.
Then you draft Jalen, like you draft a contingency plan in case Carson goes down, and then you're trying to
really.
You don't even have the contingency plan solidified. Like I don't understand, but we'll see. I got my popcorn.
Like I feel like they have a plan. There's been a lot of times outside of the Chip Kelly era, because when Chip Kelly was there, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Man, Chip Kelly was going to lead up with that Oregon offense.
And then it came out that he didn't know what he was doing. So, but I feel like with Doug, I feel like there's a method to his madness some way. I just could never see it in the beginning. Like it all works its way out in some type of way. But like I said, I honestly have no. I don't like him, but I'm only one person.
It's just a bunch of talk, man. They're trying to find somebody dumb enough to take them, give them something the 5th, 6th, 7th, a half-eaten sandwich or something for them instead of just cutting them. Look, man, Jalen's the number 2 there. I know you want, for the sake to talk about things, people love to say football to meritocracy and hard work and blah, 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 blah. There's Carson, there's Jalen, and you would probably like that roster spot for somebody else on your team. That's also made of the same type of paper Carson's made of. So you're going to need that roster spot for other type of insurance. Jalen's – he's a little bit more suited for the physical type of play on the NFL level. Could take some of those hits that somebody else cannot take. Can dole out some of those hits that someone else cannot take. Getting body slammed by slot corners and whatnot. Jalen's a little bit more.
I should just turn the lights on. It's so shady in here.
Jalen's a little bit more. He's built a little bit more like the other really successful quarterbacks in the league, the dual threat guys. So yeah, it's a future thing. It's kind of like, you want to know what the difference between what Doug Peterson and Matt LaFleur did? Doug Peterson just did it in a classier way. Both Green Bay and Philadelphia, they got their future quarterbacks. Someone did it in a really bad way, and someone did it in like a classy way. Either way, both of the coaches kind of found the guys that down the road they would like to have. And that's just what it is. Like, I love Carson. It's not an indictment on his talent, but like, ain't nobody about to keep giving you like big money, because once Lamar, Pat, Deshaun get broke off for real, they not about to pay you that money when you're not available. So
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? They went and got somebody in the building for it's inevitable. look, man, it's inevitable. He gets hurt every year. It just is what it is. Yeah. And my man Thanos said it's just inevitable.
Snap it.
You know, just Philadelphia and their quarterbacks.
He was cold. See,
Every year.
I'm gonna have to start giving out more bad vibes.
Oh boy, no, we good.
Brandon Cunningham ain't walking through that door.
Man.
Look, I know that. Come on, man. We waiting. I'm not that desperate.
Hey, and also I just want to point out this is the first time that Raymond ever had any type of NFC East pettiness on the program. So just want to mention that so it doesn't get past. Cardell, did you have anything or you want me to go ahead and close?
Did you see how classy it was?
Look, y'all the same division where there's 4 bad teams and everyone goes, no, after you every year. We just tell the truth.
It's not 4 bad teams. I'm sorry, we're not bad. I'm sorry, we're not. I will not sit here and go for that. We're not a bad team.
So if y'all could play the year with the injuries off, sure. But you can't. You can't turn the injury slider off in real life.
That's fine. But with all the injuries we had last year, we did a lot better than anybody would have thought. We're not a bad team.
Want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes. And I will say it every week.
Fly Eagles, fly and whatnot, however that may go.
This is awesome, man. This is awesome.
I have nothing. I didn't say anything.
Haven't had a discussion like this in a while, but I'm saying.
I mean, I felt like why not, right? It's been a while, but it'll be week whatever this year. Don't even worry about it. Can't wait.
No, not a problem.
Is Carson
let them have fans in the stands. I'm going to California. I'm just saying.
You better hope they have fans, because if he get hurt with no one there, it's gonna be funny. It is gonna be funny.
Out there.
Empty stadium when he go down. Empty stadium when he goes down.
I'm a good.
Does it even count if you go down and nobody's there to cheer or hear it or boo?
If it's going to be recorded, I'm sure it counts.
So it's like that. I don't want it to happen because I don't want to deal with Jalen. So I wish him a happy year. Good health for Carson this year. See, I wish him the best. Want to thank you guys for watching.
I don't want to say I hope somebody on the team get hurt, but that's like it's right there.
I mean, it made a Super Bowl run last year. People were hurt. It's part of it.
All right.
It happens.
Super Bowl run.
Yeah. We didn't win. I said it.
Oh, okay.
Y'all was gonna be Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
Y'all in that secondary? Okay. Y'all was gonna be close.
We had 12,000 people injured. I don't know.
Nate Sudfield's good for at least 11,000 in him. He got y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
He was injured.
Want to thank y'all for tuning in.
He broke his wrist in preseason. Like,
how did he get hurt?
He had no help. That's my point. Man, get that man out of line. He gonna ball. Go ahead, get him a line.
My man said,
if you need help, tell him to get out of Philadelphia. We don't care about him.
Hey, Octavia, she about to go ahead and realize celebrate the day he gets like waived or something.
Y'all think I'm joking? I will tell you the truth. When they drafted Jalen Hurts, and I follow our Instagram page for the Eagles or whatever, and they posted him up there, I literally commented, "Can we release Nate Sudfeld now?"
Wow. Well, I want to thank y'all for tuning in.
I did.
We're gonna catch y'all next week.
People liked it and responded, so I'm not.
Okay. That is so petty. But again, thank you to our guests for the night. Definitely appreciated them coming through from Vision Academy. So, we're going to catch you guys next week, same time, same place. I have no idea what we'll have planned for you guys by then. But as always, get over to findersmac.com or monosports.com and follow the Focus TV on all your social media accounts. Thank y'all for tuning in.